Hey, it's me, HEC3, also known as Hampton Edward Conway III, better known as Lil Hamp, and sometimes known as Shorty Coco. And this is the Get Fat podcast. That's right, Get Fat, F.A.T, freedom and transformation. And I want to continue a conversation today that I started last time. If you were able to listen to my last episode, which was episode 1 of season 2, I had a confession, and I confessed about my issues with anxiety and insecurity, especially revolving around the book that I am a part of. And as a matter of fact, if you haven't gotten the book, here it is. For such a time as this. This is an anthology. Look, there's me right there. Right there. This is an anthology. 20 authors. I'm one of 20 authors that participated in writing this book. And it's a book of real stories, real faith, and real transformation. So listen, if you haven't gotten the book yet, please go to hamptonconway.com, grab the book, okay? But yes, so season 2, episode 1 last time, I talked about my, confession about my insecurities and anxiety and such with the book. And I went on to talk about trust based on a devotional that I had read that was talking about trust. And there was actually 2 parts to this devotional. So what I would like to do, I want to read the excerpt from this devotional, and so I can go into the other aspect of this. So this devotional is called Jesus Calling, Enjoying Peace in His Presence. And this is the note-taking edition. And this is by Sarah Young. I really, really like this because it actually, it really is like speaking from the perspective of God talking to you. And it's really interesting. So anyway, this was on March 22nd. And I'm going to tell you what's significant about that date. Let me fill you in. Before I read this, I'd had a particular situation. I can't really go into it. But basically, before reading this, something happened that was very serious. And it made me very upset. Like after this event took place, I was very angry. I mean, angry. I was heated. And I had intended to have my devotional before the event, but got out of whack with my time and got behind. And so the event happened. I came away from that very upset and angry. But I said to myself, you know what? I said I was going to do my devotional. I need to do my devotional. And so I open it up. And the first thing it says is, rejoice and be thankful. Now, I was like, you know what? This ain't what I want to hear. This ain't what I want to read today. I want to read some of David's Psalms where he cursing his enemies and asking God to strike them down. Like, that's the kind of devotional I wanted to have and was looking forward to. But this thing said, rejoice and be thankful. I wasn't in a rejoiceful mood. I wasn't in a thankful mood. But this is how it started out. And so then it went on to say, as you walk with me through this day, practice trusting and thanking me all along the way. Trust is the channel through which my peace flows into you. Thankfulness lifts you up above your circumstances. So I talked about the trust piece last time, but the thankfulness piece I didn't talk about, but this was like a twofold kind of situation here. Okay. I do my greatest works through people with grateful, trusting hearts. Rather than planning and evaluating, practice trusting and thanking me continually. This is a paradigm shift that will revolutionize your life. And it goes on to have some scriptures. By the way, one of the scriptures is Philippians 4:4, which says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice." It also referenced Psalm 95, 1 through 2. Yes, it did get into the Psalms, but not the Psalms I was looking forward to. "Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and song." Psalm 9:10 says, "Those who know your name will trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you." And then finally, it referenced 2 Corinthians 2:14. "Now thanks be to God, who always leads us in triumph in Christ, and through us diffuses the fragrance of his knowledge in every place." So anyway, going back to these words, it says, "Trust is the channel through which my peace flows into you. Thankfulness lifts you up above your circumstances." And so while I was not really in the mood to hear about rejoicing and being thankful, it was definitely timely, because lately I have kind of been in a place where my circumstances have really been weighing me down. Some particular circumstances have been troubling me emotionally, mentally, I'd say even physically. And I've been getting swallowed up by my circumstances. I don't know if you can relate. If you're watching this on YouTube and you can relate, put a comment. Have you ever felt swallowed up by your circumstances? Have you ever felt overwhelmed by your circumstances? Let me know. But I'm in that place right now. And I was in this place, I've been in this place for the last couple of weeks. And so while I've been trying to work on this whole trusting thing, as I was talking about last time, I'm also now focusing on this thankfulness piece. And so, yeah, just focusing on this. Thankfulness lifts you up above your circumstances. And I'll tell you what, I could use some lifting above my circumstances. I could definitely stand to be to have some help rising above my circumstances that I am so overwhelmed by at times and so consumed by. And so God is saying, hey, being thankful will help you do that. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Let me tell you about that's the same day I came home from being out on a bike ride. And I had done my devotional while I was down at Bladensburg Waterfront Park, where I'd ridden my bike to. And I came home and I had a family meeting with the kids. Every so often we have a family meeting, and we might just talk about logistics, about things around the home. But I always want to try to have some sort of spiritual component where we share with each other, or I share with them some things, just encourage, motivate, inspire them, or whatever the case may be. So at the beginning of this particular family meeting, I started out by saying, let's start off by everybody listing one thing that they're grateful for, one thing that you're thankful for. And I started, and the thing that I listed was Twinkies. Yes, I am thankful to God for Twinkies. Yes, don't judge me. I was being silly, but I was also being serious. Like I really am thankful for Twinkies. I love Twinkies. People that know me know I got to thank for Twinkies. Okay, so and I guess that kind of kicked off this whole thankful for food thing because I think one of the kids ended up saying cotton candy. Somebody else said I think chicken sandwiches. And so it's just funny that me starting with food I think just triggered this thing about food. But one of the kids deviated and said they were thankful for hugs. And then one of my sons said he was thankful for football. And so it was interesting because I expressed to them, I said, while we're saying we're thankful for these things that seem like minor things, right? But there's nothing too great or too small to be thankful for. And honestly, sometimes we don't take the time to thank God for the things that we actually take for granted, right? And so while you may, someone may think, oh, why would you be thankful for cotton candy? Well, or why would you be thankful for Twinkies? Or why would you be thankful for chicken sandwiches? Well, there's probably somebody who doesn't have the money to get any of those things, doesn't have the chance to experience those things that we just take for granted, that we just run through a gas station or a 7-Eleven or whatever and grab some Twinkies or this or that and don't think much of it. But everybody doesn't have that opportunity, that ability. Even my son, when he said football, I said, don't take that for granted. Everybody doesn't have the ability to play football. Everybody doesn't have the physical capability to play football or play it well. And so that's something that we could take for granted, even hugs, right? I thought that was a great one. I love hugs too. I'm a hugger. But it's always tough, it's when you're around certain people and you don't know if they're huggers or not. Trying to figure that out. But yes, when my daughter said she's thankful for hugs, I thought that was a great one too. But that's something we take for granted because everybody don't have somebody to hug. And so it really made me think, I was talking to the kids, it really made me think about, we sometimes we thank God for big things, or when we come out of something, thank God he helped me with this and saved me from that. But, really taking the time to thank him for even the little things, the things we take for granted. I remember when I was long-term substitute teaching at a middle school years ago. But it was a special ed class, special education class that had some students with some severe disabilities, and one particular student drooled a lot because he was born addicted to crack, and it caused a lot of problems, issues with his brain and some other things. And so one of the effects of that was that he had to concentrate to swallow. Otherwise, he would drool. And that thing, man, shook me up something serious because I was like, I can't think of the last time that I actually had to think to myself. I don't think I ever have consciously ever just thought to myself, okay, Hamp, swallow. And then 10 seconds or 10 minutes later, okay, Hamp, time to swallow again, swallow. Like, that's not something I think about. It's automatic. But for this particular kid, it wasn't automatic. And I was like, wow, the things we take for granted. And so I kind of wanted to just bring that up too, just to really emphasize and for myself and for others, like there is a lot to be thankful for. There is a ton to be thankful for. And so one of the things that I'm trying to practice actively right now is being thankful, because I need some help rising above my circumstances. And I know one of the ways that I'm able to find peace and joy is by being thankful. That is biblical. And I'm going to get to another passage in a second that supports that. But one of the ways I wanted to focus on being thankful is to actually think about the things that are causing me grief. Think about the things that are stressing me out. And then try to come up with some things about that thing to be thankful for. So not even just being random with thankfulness. Actually trying to just change my perspective, right? Take the thing that's stressing me out. For example, right now, finances. For a multitude of reasons right now, finances are stressing me out. And so the strategy that I'm using is, okay, what are some things about my finances that I can be grateful for, that I can be thankful for? Well, even though the check that I got last Friday disappeared with the quickness, I'm getting another one next Friday. I am grateful for that. There's more money coming. I can't wait for it to get here, but it's coming. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to actively just really find ways to be thankful for the very things that are causing me stress and anxiety and whatnot. And that's helping me to rise above the circumstance. So one of the passages, or not passages, but one of the scripture references that was in this devotional was from Philippians 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. And so, it's interesting because when I was thinking about this whole gratefulness and thankfulness thing, a passage from Philippians 4 came to my mind. So I'm going to read it to you, starting in Philippians 4:6, where it says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything." It's funny because the King James of this says, "Be careful for nothing." And I was like, I remember being a kid and hearing that. Be careful for nothing. And especially because, growing up, people always telling you to be careful. Right? So the King James says, "Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known," something like that. So, it took me a long time to actually really understand what that meant. Be careful for nothing, basically saying, hey, don't be worrying about anything. But as an alternative to that, instead pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Then, so this is one of those situations where, where if a passage is telling you something, right, give you some directions or a command or some instructions, and then follows it with then, that means this is a conditional statement, right? It's a if then, right? If this, then this, right? If you do this and then this will happen, or if you do this and you'll get this, or whatever case may be. So this is one of those if thens. This is a conditional statement, meaning what's coming after the then is reliant on what came before the then. So let's see what's coming after the then. So let me go back. I'm gonna go back to Philippians 4:6. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. So if I want to experience peace, so this is telling me that there's a formula to achieving peace. And the formula to achieving peace is to not worry, but pray. And not only that, tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Don't worry. Pray. Tell God what you need. Thank him for all he has done. Those four things will then equate to us experiencing peace. Peace that exceeds anything we can understand. Or as many of you may have heard, the peace that passes all understanding. So listen, I'm trying to trust God and take him at his word. So I'm doing this, y'all. I'm going to actively do this and intentionally do this, reminding myself, hey, Hampton, don't worry. And when I start feeling myself to worry, I'm going to start praying about it. And as I'm praying about it, I'm going to tell God what I need from him and how I need him to come through for me in these situations and in these circumstances, and what I need his help with. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to thank him for what he's already done. I'm going to mess around and thank him for what he's doing and what I'm trusting him to do in the future. Okay? I want to lock in some of this peace because I need it. Okay? I need it. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not successful with this all the time. And so this is why, doing things like having, reading devotionals or reading the word reminds me of what I need to do to kind of navigate this life. And I really love this last part, then you will experience God's peace, which surpasses all understanding. It's the peace that surpasses all understanding, or peace that exceeds anything that we can understand. If you've ever experienced that, this makes sense. If you haven't experienced it, this doesn't make a lot of sense. But there have been times that I've been in situations that absolutely either had me really just down and out, but I got to a place where the circumstance didn't change, but my perspective of the circumstance or the situation changed. And I was able to be at peace, even though things all around me were awry, right? It's that peace in the midst of the storm, right? It's that you think about a hurricane and how in the eye of the hurricane is the most calm and quiet part of the hurricane, and stuff can just be flying all around you, right? But in the midst of that, you could be calm and quiet in that peace, because you're trusting God and you know that God is in control. So I have experienced that, and again, and it doesn't make sense at times. Like, logically, that peace you're experiencing just doesn't make sense, because you should be going slam out your mind, but yet you're able to be at peace. Again, I don't always achieve that, but I have achieved it, and I'm trying to attain that as we speak, with respect to the circumstances and situations that I have going on in my life right now. So, and it's a good reminder too, like thinking back about what God has done for me in the past, as I face some things that are coming up in the future. It's a good reminder, that, hey, there were times before where you succumbed and were overwhelmed by certain situations, but God lifted you above your circumstances. And so I'm expecting him to do that again. And you can expect him to do that for you as well. Follow this formula. Don't worry about anything. That's such a big, it seems impossible. I ain't gonna lie, just off the cuff, to not worry about anything. But hey, I think that it's possible because he's asking us to do it. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. And that's the thing too, right? Like, you can't just say, I'm not going to worry, and then you end up not worrying. Like, there's other things you need to do to help you not worry, right? So all of this goes together. You don't worry. And what helps you not worry is that you're praying about it and that you're telling God what you need and that you're thanking him for all he has done. That helps you to not worry. Just telling yourself not to worry, that don't work. So then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace, and this is the last part, and I'm out of here. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as long as you live in Christ Jesus. Listen, I don't know about you, but I got issues with my heart, my emotions. I'm a very emotional person. I said in the last episode, I'm very much driven by my emotions, which is not always a good thing. So I need my heart guarded, and I need it guarded by God. Okay. I need him to guard my heart. I need his peace, the peace that he gives me, just to wrap his peace all around my heart so your boy cannot be emotional about everything and act out on his emotions and make decisions solely based on his emotions or be paralyzed by his emotions. So yes, I need that peace to guard my heart and my mind because, oh man, homie, my mind be playing tricks on me. Okay. For real. Like like I also said in the last episode, I don't necessarily need outside folks talking stuff to me. The stuff inside my head talking stuff to me is enough to stop me. And so I need that peace to guard my mind as well. So this is my strategic and intentional effort to rise above my circumstances by being thankful, by trusting God and also being in a constant state of thankfulness as best I can. So y'all pray for me that I can achieve this, that I can be consistent, so that I can, again, not be overwhelmed and consumed by my current circumstances, so I can be at peace and be a light and that my peace can be contagious for my kids, who I know are also overwhelmed at times and anxious at times about certain things that are going on, in our family, or things that may be going on with them in school or whatever the case may be. So that's where I'm at. And I hope that me sharing, just being transparent and honest about where I am right now, I hope this is helpful to you as well, and that you could benefit somewhat or some way from this. So, hey, let's practice trusting him together. Let's practice gratefulness together. So it's me, HEC3, just trying to give you a little something to chew on so you can get fat. Come on and get fat with me on the Get Fat podcast.